Hello, I'm Alan Peaford. This week at ConExpo, engine technology has been high in the headlines as Tier 4 compliant engines are hitting all of the main manufacturers. We're going to talk now to Geoff Ashcroft for this special programme to find out what really powered him up this week at the show. So Geoff, you suggested meeting here, presumably this is one of your headline engines.
Yes, Alan, this is one of the highlights of ConExpo 2014 for me. What we're seeing here is Cummins' new QSG12. It's a global engine platform. In this configuration it's Tier 4 final ready, but it can also be used in Tier 3 applications for some of the lesser regulated countries. And in this instance it's tied in with Oerlikon, which is a driveline specialist, and they're working on hybrid power for 2014-2015. At the moment Cummins has partnered with them to give them the power unit. This is going to be an all-electric drive system for individual electric wheel motors on a 30-ton loading shovel, and the project is still getting off the ground, but they're working with XCMG with a 30-ton class wheel loader, and we should expect to see a working prototype at Bauma, China later this year.
So what are the benefits of the electric motor system?
Well, Alan, with individual electric wheel motors, these guys can run the Cummins engine at a fixed low RPM, probably 1300 RPM in the sweet spot, and that's going to deliver some fairly impressive fuel savings. They're already expecting a 30% saving in fuel consumption, but without a solid beam axle, the individual motors in each wheel would lead to perhaps the development of a full suspension system for wheel loaders in the future. So this really is cutting-edge design.
Well, emissions seem to be the buzzword around the show this week. Was there anything unusual in your area for that?
Well, Alan, Joyce has come up with a very different solution to everybody else. They're still using SCR on their V6 12 litre and V8 16 litre engines, but they've chosen to add a second SCR system. So it's actually got two SCR catalysts, single dosing still, but it's a double can arrangement, and that has been their successful route to Tier 4 final. Another clever SCR solution has come from Volvo Penta this week. The company has redesigned its SCR system from the Tier 4 interim range of engines, changed the catalyst a little bit, and made it a cleaner system now for Tier 4 final. It's still a cooled EGR engine range, but they've been able to clean things up nice and sweetly on its 5, 8, 11, 13 and 16 litre engines.
Anyone who watches Formula One or motor racing on television will have been caught up in telematics for some years. Now, I found this week at the show a lot of the OEMs are talking about telematics. It seems to be really buzzing, doesn't it? How is that done here?
Well, John Deere Power Systems has been using telematics in agriculture for some time. They've had a product called JD Link, and now that is being applied to their own engine range. They've taken the technology they've had from the agricultural sector, applied it to the construction sector, and they're giving customers 4 levels of monitoring for engines that are used in lighting sets, gen sets, that kind of thing. Anything that's not an OEM product from John Deere itself. So it's a subscription service, and you can remotely access your engine, check your diagnostics and carry out software updates, all without having to visit site.
Now, Geoff, when you and I walked around before the show started to do our preview programmes, we saw a lot of black cloth over an engine on the JCB booth, and I know you were getting pretty excited about that. Was it worth waiting for?
Yes, Alan, it was. It's actually JCB's first step into a larger 6-cylinder engine. They've only done 4-cylinder motors for quite a few years now, so they've got their act together on that side of the job, but they want more power, they want bigger applications, and the JCB Diesel Max 672 is their new offering. At this stage, it's not reaching Tier 4 final emission standards, it's only a Tier 3 engine, but I should think in the next 18 months, 2 years, we'll see that engine lifted to the same level of cleanliness as the rest of the industry.
So we've seen a lot of the 6-cylinder engines. Was anything happening at the other end of the scale?
Well, Doosan Infracore's engine division has taken the wraps off a new compact range of diesel engines this week. It's 1.8, 2.4 and 3.4 litre, and interestingly doesn't need a DPF. So it's a lower total cost of ownership for the end user and a simple, clean solution for installation.
I tell you, Geoff, the one that I saw with the least emissions was on the John Deere stand, and I think if you remember the one I meant, that was built with mega blocks.
Yes, Alan, I think there was 125,000 pieces went into making up that John Deere engine. And you know what? No DOC, no DPF and no SCR. I reckon it's the future.
I think we've seen the future here with what's happening in the engine and driveline technology area. Thank you for joining us for Construction TV.